Welcome to Experiment Island. It's bleak and uncompromising, and for the next 5 days, 8 intrepid castaways will be calling it home.
They're split into 2 teams, and they're going to have to build escape vehicles to race against each other.
This is a contest of ingenuity and of teamwork for the biggest prize this place has to offer: escape. Eight complete strangers will be split into 2 teams in a test of skill and stamina. And with no idea of what lies ahead, they'll have to live, work, and compete together if they want to win the ride home.
Yes, blue team, Clarke. Red team and Anthony. Blue team, go!
These guys have arrived thinking they're ready for everything Experiment Island has to throw at them. But we wonder if they're ready for the weather and the basic living conditions. Over the next 5 days, their practical skills, scientific knowledge, and mechanical know-how will be put to the test in a series of challenges. They know if they want to leave Experiment Island, they'll have to build an escape vehicle capable of beating their opponents in a head-to-head race on the final day. But first, it's time to get into team colors and find out what their teammates are made of. From now on, they'll have to work together if they want to get off the island. The battle is on. It is the blue team versus the reds. On Team Red, Jamie was in special ops for the Army. He describes himself as an avid inventor and tackles anything from home renovations to rebuilding engines. Mark is a police chief and father of 2. Plumbing and woodwork are his specialty. If it's broken, he'll fix it. Stephanie has a master's from Harvard and is a mother of 3. When she's not carting and hauling the kids, she enjoys home improvements. And Clarke is a human resource specialist in the auto industry. His team building and management skills should help pull the red team together. Okay, it's straight to work. Time for this challenge to begin. From now on, the teams move forward together. Their first task is to guess what vehicle they need to design, build, and race from clues we've put in their crates. So Vanessa, you are the queen of science here on Experiment Island. What kind of clues have you put in the crates this time?
Okay, I've given them some really cunning clues in their crates, including a crash helmet, some driving gloves, and a checkered flag.
Must be some type of racing car.
Correct. A beach towel and some sand.
A car that races on the sand.
And some cooking oil and a recycling sign.
That's a little tricky. It's got to be a
Cooking oil powered
Dune Buggy. The first team to guess the vehicle and the fuel will get a 1-minute head start in the race across the island to their next challenge. Only 1 member from each team can approach us with their answer, and if they get it wrong, they'll have to keep on guessing. So if they want to be first, they'll have to think fast.
Sail, okay? Towel becomes sail.
Dune Buggy.
Dune Buggy. What is
Dune Buggy.
Make it a sail-powered Dune Buggy.
Sail.
Go on up.
Yeah.
Beach Dune Buggy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get diesel out of vegetable oil, can we?
I would go with oil. With carrots.
The guys on the blue team should be listening to Roxanne because she's thinking along the right lines. And the red team is resorting to wild guesses.
Hands.
How do you ore power?
No, I mean, I don't know. We'll try it.
Yeah.
Oar-powered Dune Buggy.
There is not a single oar in that crate.
Diesel-powered Dune Buggy.
Yep. Cool. Have the answer in your hands.
All right.
This is it, all right?
This is it.
This is it. Okay.
We're ready.
A diesel-powered Dune Buggy.
No.
Go up and try the oil.
Vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
Yeah. They got it, I think.
I can tell by the number of dimples you do not believe the word that's going to come out of your mouth right now.
Okay. A vegetable oil-powered Dune Buggy.
And lightning has struck, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. Yeah. All right. Congratulations, Reg. You are building a cooking oil-powered Dune Buggy.
Oh, yeah.
And you also get a 1-minute advantage into the next challenge. Here's a map with directions on it. Make sure you pack your crate and go. Good luck.
All right, let's go. Here, I'll read. I'll read. You guys pack. All right, red team, navigation challenge.
heading a southwesterly direction.
The teams have a map and directions, which should lead them across the island to their next challenge. Their task would then be to retrieve a key that could give them the upper hand.
Blue team, bad luck. I'm holding you here for a 1-minute penalty. Red team are leaving you for dust.
On the blue team, Anthony's an all-around handyman who can tackle almost anything from welding and carpentry to fixing engines. Eric designs robotic equipment. He also makes car and bike parts in his machine shop at home. His mechanical skills should come in handy. Jeff built his own plane at 17, so he should have some know-how when it comes to building a dune buggy. Roxanne works as a bookkeeper and makes model rockets in her spare time. Her motto is, how hard can it be? Something she'll find out over the next 5 days on Experiment Island. The Reds are pushing forward under Jamie's direction. It seems that his military training in the jungles of Panama is being put to good use.
And your compass.
Vanessa has told the Blues what they have to build, and it's just about time to send them off.
Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Red team, south.
Jeff, leading the blue team, is an avid hiker, so he should have a good sense of direction. The red team is making good progress, which means the Blues are going to have to work hard to make up that 1-minute delay.
A little bit more to the right.
They must follow compass bearings that lead to 2 buoys, one for the Reds and one for the Blues. Hidden inside are further directions to their next challenge.
Go around the water.
With Jeff leading the way, the Blues quickly catch up to the Reds, who apparently need to step up the pace.
Go, Red. Ready? 1, 2,
Over here. Over here.
Ready? Jump.
And the Blues reach the buoys first, but in all the excitement, they pick up the Red team's buoy and directions by mistake.
Hey, that's ours. This is ours. All right, walk on a bearing of 330 degrees for 25 paces. Then follow a bearing of 220 degrees for 90 paces where you find instructions for your next challenge.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Jamie has taken an incorrect reading on the compass and is leading the Red team in the wrong direction.
Where's the red team?
Where's the red?
We're running. We're winning. Run, run, run.
Getting themselves back on track is losing the Reds' valuable time, which means the Blues race into the lead.
25?
Yep.
What's the bearing?
230. Straight this way. Okay.
If they follow the route correctly, the teams will reach the next challenge, where they must retrieve a key from inside this ball. To get the key, they have to use the ropes to lift the board and guide the ball through the largest hole. Such coordinated teamwork will be the key to success. The first team to get the key will be the first to open the forge, a treasure trove of building supplies on the island.
The Blues were underdogs at the start of this race, but Jeff's pinpoint directions helped them reach the key challenge first, and Roxanne is keeping the pressure on.
The key to the forge is in the blue ball.
If the Reds don't step on it, there's no way they'll catch up. The Blues are on a roll.
To retrieve the key, your ball must drop through one of the holes in the board and land in the bucket beneath. You may not touch the bucket to do this. Let's go.
Let's go right here.
All right, come on.
The Red team has fallen behind and seem to have given up.
We're going to try to run it through that little hole here.
Okay, right here.
Okay, get to roll.
If the Blues get the key first, they'll have a crucial advantage over the Red team.
Oh, no.
The first team to get the ball in the bucket and grab the key must sound their air horn to signal victory.
Right down.
To roll. There we go. Get the key, get the key.
Got it.
Nice job.
Well done. Let me go down the line. Well done, well done. Nice job. That was quick. Well, that's not a good thing. Congratulations, guys.
Nice.
Good work.
Nice.
An outstanding comeback for the blue team, who, despite their 1-minute delay, stormed past the Reds. Excellent navigational skills and teamwork proved a winner, and now it's time to make their way over to the forge. The key opens the door to the forge, where Vanessa's hidden some special equipment, and getting first dibs on its contents could give the Blues a real advantage.
Although the forge is piled high with equipment and bits of machinery, only some of the items are useful, like this cart seat, these handlebars, and this air pump. The challenge calls for quick thinking and clear heads. But first, the teams get to check out the materials they'll be given to build their dune buggies. A chassis frame, a diesel engine, and all the parts to construct a belt and chain drive mechanism. If they pay attention, they might notice there's no seat or steering wheel, so a sharp eye in the forge will definitely pay off.
Okay, blue team, you took the checkered flag in the key challenge. You are first in the forge. You get 1 minute, 3 items.
Okay.
Your time starts when you turn that key.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Eric's hobby is buggy building, so it makes sense for him to go into the forge for the blue team. If anyone can spot a gem in here, Eric should be the man.
Radio, a foot pump.
He has the foot pump and seems to think that trashing the place is the best way of looking.
What is there, a frat party going on in there?
Funnel a go-kart seat.
Get the go-kart.
His teammates may want the go-kart seat, but Eric's not interested.
Time's running out, guys.
Only seconds left. Eric's decided against the seat in favor of the handlebars.
All right, you're out of there like the Flash. What's going on? What'd we get?
All right, got a bicycle pump. We're probably gonna need to adjust tire pressures for the sand.
Okay, bicycle pump.
Let it out. That's our steering wheel.
Steering wheel.
And a big box of miscellaneous bits out of which we will weld everything else.
Big box o' bits always
right.
comes in handy.
Yep.
All right, good job. Let's see what kind of leftovers you left, Red. Switch
All right.
them up, guys.
Okay, good.
Okay, Jamie, you know the rules. Your time starts when you open up that lock. Good luck.
Go, Jamie.
Once again, Jamie takes the reins for the red team and heads straight for the go-kart seat that Eric left behind.
Get the seat.
And after Eric attacked the forge like a bull in a china shop, finding those hidden treasures isn't quite so easy.
What do you guys think? Over?
The seat, shocks, and seat.
Roger, got the seat over.
Shocks, too. Shocks. Time's running. So
Yeah, hurry, tell me hurry.
DD mile, DD mile.
The different bike wheels, over.
Here we go.
10 seconds and counting, Jamie has to grab 2 more things and get out.
I'm not going to ask you to move my furniture for me at my house at all. All right, what do we got here? Let's pass these along.
All right, we've got our seat. We brought another sprocket out. Thought we may be able to use that.
Sure.
And you can always do something with a pipe.
Good pipe is always handy. All right, guys, you've made your choices. Now it's time to live with them because we are sealing the forge. So, will the Blues air pump and handlebars be of more use than the Reds' seat, sprocket, and pipe? They'll find out tomorrow when they design and build their Dune buggies. As their first eventful day on Experiment Island draws to a close, it's time for the teams to retire to camp for the night. And with the basic conditions here, they'll soon realize there's no place like home. But unlike Dorothy, no amount of tapping is going to help. But for now, both teams are sizing up their opponents.
Come on in.
I must say.
No, we don't
because-
want to. We don't want to tell them that they're all a bunch of idiots. But we'd like to. We'd like to say you're an idiot, and you're an idiot, and you're an idiot, and you're an idiot. But we won't.
I turned around and looked at who was coming over to the blue side. It was like, yes!
Yeah,
Ooh, we're going to kick butt.
And the other thing we have to think about is how we're going to sabotage their plan.
I say we let them all oversleep tomorrow.
That's a good start.
Both teams are talking the talk, but tomorrow we'll see if they can walk the walk. Welcome to another day on Experiment Island where both teams are waking to realize that day one wasn't just a dream, it's all real. And although the sun is shining today, this being Experiment Island, chances are it's not going to last very long. And anyway, they're not going to have time to soak up the sun because in the back of both teams' minds is one problem.
Boring. Can you guys come and scrub my back?
You're really good at this, Roxanne.
No, but I've held buckets over people's heads before.
While the girls go for the full rinse, a quick dip is enough for Jeff.
All right, wouldn't have bothered me. I'm clean. It's not often I get to dump water on a cob.
That's right.
Now this is Escape from Experiment Island right here.
That's right, and if the teams want to escape, there's some serious work to be done.
Okay, let's go build some stuff.
It's a long day ahead for both teams because their second day on Experiment Island isn't going to get any easier. Let's hope the teams made the right choices in the forge yesterday because their challenge today is to design and build their dune buggies. Okay, guys, the main event is about to start. Right now, you know you have to build dune buggies to race in the final day.
In front of you are all the materials you need to construct your dune buggies, including just enough diesel, and yes, they are diesel engines, to test them.
Later on, of course, you will not be using diesel fuel, you'll be using cooking oil.
And your dune buggies must be capable of carrying one driver. Everything you need to build them is here or in your workshop.
Although they have the raw materials, the challenge is putting it all together and getting the steering and the drive mechanism right. They need to build their buggies with a gear ratio of 4:1, so the power from the engine doesn't burn out the clutch. If this happens, they'll be left smoking on the start line.
That way we can get actually the ratio that we need to have. So
now it's up to the teams to work it out as they plan and design their buggies in their first escape conference. The winner of today's challenge is the first team to drive their buggy through the courtyard and sound their air horn.
Yeah. The belt will be our primary drive, and the chain will be our secondary drive.
The teams are in the middle of their first escape conference.
And of course, from now on, if either team gets things so badly wrong that they need us to step in, or they finish last, they get an escape penalty.
Which this time around is a 5-second time delay at the start of the final race.
1 second.
An escape penalty is the last thing they want, so the red team gets right to work while the blues still have some planning to do. And not getting that seat in the forge hasn't made life any easier for them.
We'll need to work up a seat, which is just going to be simple plywood placed here and here.
Don't forget our wheels.
The clock's ticking. Finishing their buggies before nightfall will take every ounce of skill and coordinated teamwork.
We've got our work cut out for us if we want to get this done in the time allotted.
See how that's going to go.
The Reds have the seat and may have saved themselves some time.
That's going to go.
Scooch up even more.
But they better work fast because Eric's on a mission to win, taking over in the blue workshop.
Let me turn the wheels from side to side.
I think it's fine like this.
I would put them both on top.
With Eric's mechanical skills, the blue team may have the edge over the Reds, who don't seem to know where everything should go.
It's like building a big tinker toy.
Where do pedals go? Funny, stick on pedals.
Clarke and Mark are working on the steering column, but something's not quite right.
But it is. You know what? The wheels are on the wrong sides. Yeah, definitely. Switch the wheels.
Okay. Switching the wheels will put the Reds even further behind the blue team. And tightening bolts is all they're getting to do. Since this is Eric's area of expertise, he wants to control everything.
Technical adjustments, eh?
The Reds now have the wheels back on, but Mark's attention to detail could slow them down.
Look right down the center of the steering shaft that we're going to have. That's straight, just like if you just make this a T on it.
I don't know. It's looking pretty good.
They're not right. You're going to really have a hard time steering it.
I hear you.
Ready?
The blue steering looks good, and now that their handlebars are cut down to size, they're in pretty good shape.
This way? Yep. And turn it this way. That's what it would do, right? Good clearance, hand.
And things still aren't running smoothly for the Reds. Stephanie spotted another mistake.
But don't we have to have the belt on here?
Yes. Good point.
So we need to take one of these sides off.
Good one. I didn't even catch that.
Okay.
And while the red team seem to be taking off every part they attach, the blues are ready for their engine. So Vanessa, we're giving the teams diesel engines rather than gasoline ones. What's the difference?
Okay, well, unlike in a gasoline engine, in a diesel engine, you don't need spark plugs.
Why is that?
Because it's the heat of compression that ignites the fuel. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a bicycle pump. Put your thumb over that end and pump away. What's happening to your thumb?
It's getting hotter.
That's right. That's because as you force the piston up the cylinder, it compresses the air. Now, in a diesel engine, that air gets so hot that when you inject the fuel, it instantly explodes. Now, that's also why a diesel engine sounds so noisy. It's all those little explosions.
Because the compression in a diesel engine is so high, the cylinder gets hot enough to burn even heavy oils. This will allow our teams to run their buggies on cooking oil later, whereas the sparks in a gas engine wouldn't be hot enough.
Sparks are flying in both workshops as they race to finish their buggies. With just a few hours of daylight left, the teams need to put a fire under it if they want to finish first and avoid a 5-second escape penalty.
The bolts are going to go in from the top, nuts go on the bottom.
I get all the nuts anyway.
And as the Blues mount their engine, the Reds realize they've made another mistake, which is costing them precious time.
Guys, you got the steering on the wrong way round, and now you've got the drive mechanism on the wrong way round.
You gotta be flexible and make temporarily misoriented.
Now, what did you do? What did you just do there?
What we needed to do was get the chain routed over the axle so it's hooked up with this, and then we can set the chain tension with where we position the jack shaft.
So we're getting down to the last few minutes, and both teams are neck and neck. The Reds have appeared to be behind all day, but now the Blues have to make a last-minute adjustment on that belt tension. The winners of this challenge are one step closer to freedom. When we come back, we'll see if the red team is able to make up for lost time, or if Eric can get the blue team to fix the belt tension to drive home a win. Welcome back to Experiment Island. The teams are nearly done with their first challenge, so who is going to win and who is going to get that crucial first escape penalty?
Good. Brake releases.
The teams are racing against each other to complete their Dune buggies. The team that finishes last will face a 5-second delay at the start of the final race. Although the red team have been trailing behind the blues, they've really stepped up the pace, and once they've aligned their wheels, they just have their seat left to attach.
That looks about as close as we're going to get it.
Good.
Really good. All right, let's go.
Go,
Do your thing.
Okay.
Over in the other workshop, the blues are adding last-minute touches, including some local lucky Heather. And Roxanne's ready to drive her team to victory. That's if they can get the engine going.
Down, leave it down and drop.
Where's the battery?
Hold on. Here we go. One more.
Where's the spark plug?
There's the spark plug. It's diesel.
All right.
Ready? Yep.
Problems in the blue workshop mean the reds may have a last chance to catch up.
The other side.
Okay.
We'll tackle.
You're missing something, boys.
With their buggy finally up and running, all the blue team need to do is drive through the courtyard and sound their horn to win the challenge. All right, blue team, congratulations. What a beast. You feel confident?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, with this win, not only do you get choice of materials into the next challenge, they get a 5-second escape penalty. Winning this challenge gives the blue team a 5-second head start in the final race.
Okay, you've built your Dune buggy, but there are no gas stations on Experiment Island and you're almost empty. So you have to consider alternative fuels. In this case, used cooking oil or sesame seeds.
All right, Blues, I'm going to give you the night to think this over, go back to camp, get some R&R, and tomorrow, you have to make your choice. The red team work into the night, finishing off their buggy before heading back to the tents, where, despite winning the challenge, the Blues are not all happy campers, so they take time out from each other to talk about the day.
Now, I'm not talking crap about Eric, but he'll know this much about something. But when he talks to you, he knows this much about it.
My teammates may feel as though they have been excluded from the process by me, but the bottom line is I'd feel worse if we didn't have it done first, and more importantly, have it done right first.
Today, Eric was a bit overbearing and really, no, let me do it because I know I'll do it right.
You know, it's a race. It is a contest.
And it's not over yet. For now, it's time for the teams to sleep tight and hope the bugs don't bite. Day 3 on Experiment Island, and the teams are waking to another testing day. The blue team finished their escape vehicle first and have had all night to think about what fuel they want for their Dune buggies. But after 2 days on Experiment Island, the fatigue is starting to show. But tiredness isn't the only problem. The entire population of local flying insects seems to have moved into camp too. Those unbearable biting midges.
You can't.
Can't.
Just can't.
You can't beat them, man.
Oh, God.
I put my net up for half a second and saw a swarm of about 1,000 over my head. Oh my God.
You can't imagine what they're like.
Okay, right now, around you, there's at least 1,000.
Oh, no.
1,000.
You look like you're coming from Mars with that guy. I know. I'm being wimpy right now.
Okay, blue team, before you make your choice, you should know that both types of fuel sources are equally capable of powering your engines. Which one is up and running the quickest? It's going to be up to you guys.
This is what you're aiming for. To run your engine on the used cooking oil, you need to make sure it's fully filtered to get rid of any food. With the sesame seeds, you need to extract the oil cleanly so that it doesn't clog the engine. And both teams need to make 1 pint of fuel.
Okay, Blues, it's decision time. Which one are we going for?
Want to go with the seeds?
Sesame seed. It is giving red team the used vegetable oil. First team to make 1 pint of fuel, get your engine running for 3 minutes, will win the challenge.
That's it.
Go to it.
Right. Go, guys. All right, what are we going to do?
We got...
Okay, what we have to do is we have to grind the seed and we have to filter it. And what we've got is a grinder, which I hope works. What is that?
A filter.
Oh, a filter.
As the Blues start to grind over 13 pounds of sesame seeds, the Reds seem to have drawn the short straw. They're filtering bits of food out of last night's cooking oil. Both teams are desperate to reach the magic pint mark first.
So I think assembly line, doing as many at one time.
That's a good start. That's good. That's good. When we get some volume, we'll look at it and see how clear it is.
All right.
It's tasty, too.
So, Vanessa, our teams have diesel engines, and they have cooking oil. Am I right in thinking that I could just pour the contents of my deep-fat fryer into a diesel engine?
Well, theoretically, yes, you'd have to filter it first. But you'd get into trouble on a cold day when the oil would thicken to make it harder to burn in the engine. But you can get around that problem by making biodiesel. In a simple process, but one with a very long name, trans-esterification. All you need are these three: cooking oil, pure alcohol, and this compound called potassium hydroxide. Now that acts as a catalyst.
That'll help cause the reaction.
That's right. Now when you mix all three together, you get three layers. The top layer is your pure biodiesel, and that is actually a fuel that's less toxic than salt, as biodegradable as sugar, and best of all, totally renewable. The middle layer is your pure alcohol, and at the bottom you have this thick gloppy liquid called glycerol, which you can go on and make into soap.
But our two teams won't need to get their chemistry sets out because we're making them run their vehicles on pure oil, just like Rudolf Diesel did, the creator of the diesel engine, way back in 1900. Now, this would wreck your engine over the longer term, so don't try this at home.
The blue team may have gotten it wrong this time. The grinding and filtering process is taking way longer than expected.
Well, we're limited by how fast that thing can grind.
Yeah, that's the limiting factor. This is getting all the particulates out. Look.
Do you have all our funnels going? What do we got?
Over with the Reds, the filters are in full flow. But the lack of speed is testing Roxanne's patience.
So that's as fast as you can pump.
There we go, there we go. Now we're getting some.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely clear.
All right, guys, you've gone through the filters twice. Are you confident that you've got all those little floating black bits out?
There's still some white. Still some little.
You can't afford to have even one left in.
I see one little floaty here.
But the red team's oil still isn't clear enough, and the blues are gaining on them.
Looking good.
We're almost there, almost there.
Almost.
Go, go, go.
This should be the victory run right here.
I hear you.
Need it.
Let's do it.
As the Reds collect their final drops of oil, they must make sure absolutely no particles are left or their engine will fail. But the Blues are hot on their heels with just a few milliliters left to filter.
How's the other team doing?
Beautiful.
We
got more than enough.
All right, that's it. Everybody agree?
Blow that horn.
I'm good.
Go.
Clarke, you get loud,
right?
Yeah, baby!
Keep squeezing, boys.
Even though the Reds finished first, the Blues have to keep pumping. They still need a pint of oil for the final race.
Fill it.
The Reds have their fuel. Now they need to prove it works in order to win this challenge.
But we have some better fuel than they do.
If it's not up to standard, their engine could fail. And if that happens, they'll lose the challenge and get an escape penalty. Are the Reds firing on all cylinders? Will they be able to keep their engine running for 3 minutes, or will they need roadside assistance? Find out when we return. Welcome back to Escape from Experiment Island. The Red team, who've just finished producing 1 pint of fuel from filtering used cooking oil, are about to test that it works in their Dune buggies. In order to win this challenge, the engine has got to run for 3 minutes. So, the Reds have their engine fueled up. Now they have to hope they've filtered all those food particles out, or their engine will clog up and fail. If that happens before the 3 minutes are up, they'll get an escape penalty and the Blues will win the challenge.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Talk about a well-oiled machine. The Reds have evened the scores by giving the Blues their first escape penalty. Now, both teams are level on the starting line. For your next challenge, you have to complete your dune buggies by building body panels to protect the driver and the engine on the beach.
Okay, the choice you've got is between biodegradable flax fibres or burlap sacking, but we're going to test its effectiveness by asking you to build an extra test panel so we can test it to destruction. May the strongest panel win the challenge.
So this win for the red team means the score is tied, and back at camp, they're feeling good.
Yesterday when we lost, big deal. We're going to make it up. Part of our strategy, you know, we knew it was going to happen. But when they lost today, I mean, they're bummed.
Yeah. You know, I was really surprised that grinder took so long. It was so slow. I really thought it was just going to spit it out. We should have gave it to the red team.
Obviously, someone made the decision to make that selection. So whoever made that selection is bummed because they had the choice.
I just want to get off of this island and go home.
I know.
Well, if they want out of here, there's still some hard work ahead. Tomorrow, the red team have first shot at the materials for the next challenge. The right choice could make all the difference. Good morning. Good morning. You guys sleep well?
Yes. Excellent.
All right, red team, it's time to decide on what your body panel design is. What are you going for, Clarke?
We're going to choose the burlap. We think it's easier to cut and it has tremendous textile strength.
All right, sounds good. You guys know you have to make enough body panels to fit your dune buggy and to give us a test piece to destroy in the name of science. There you go. Off you go. Great. All right. The teams have been provided with all the materials they need to build plant fiber body panels for their dune buggies. The fibers will make biodegradable bodywork to shield the driver and the engine when racing on the beach. The Reds have chosen to use layers of burlap, leaving the blue team with the flax fibers.
The teams have to cut their plant fibres and saturate them in a resin and catalyst mix. The resin bonds with the fibres, filling all the space in the weave to make a solid sheet. When placed under glass panels to cure and solidify, it will produce a strong plant fibre alternative to fiberglass. Once cured, the body panel shapes can be cut out and fitted to the dune buggies. And the team whose panel withstands the most load in the strength test wins the challenge.
Hey, Clarke, you've been cutting these all different kinds of angles. Why is that?
Well, if you look at the texture, you see the weave of the texture. What we're trying to do is to enhance the strength of the texture, and by alternating the weaves, we think we'll have a stronger material.
Oh, very clever. Who came up with that idea?
As a group, we brainstormed.
I like that. Team working well together.
Absolutely.
Once again, good teamwork from the Reds, but Eric thinks he's at the drive-thru.
Snappy. Give me a cheeseburger, large fries, medium Coke. Got it. Thanks.
And while Roxanne shows off her artistic talents, the red team has their own message for their opponents.
Because we know second place is not an option.
Clarke, are you cool with that?
Stephanie's never attempted anything like this before, but she seems to have a clear plan of action.
Get the catalyst, mix, pour, roll, tape. Do it again.
With the fibers bagged up and ready to go, the team start mixing the resin and catalyst.
Here.
We need us before.
We're not going to use that.
Once mixed, they only have 10 minutes to get their fibers under the glass mold before the resin begins to heat up and cure.
There we go. Oh, that looks good.
You guys are doing it just the way I told you to do it. That's really, really good. I'm doing it with a big A in my mind.
Anthony's used a similar process working on surfboards back home, and he's keeping a close eye on his teammates.
All right, you just slit it open like a frozen dinner. This smells just like home.
Remind me never to stay at Eric's house.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
When I visit.
Once the resin-soaked fibers are removed from the bag, they are sandwiched between glass panels where the resin will heat up and solidify.
Tasty.
The curing process is the key to getting maximum strength from the panels. So Vanessa, the teams are making their body panels out of plant fiber and liquid resin. How do they do that?
Okay, well, the teams are soaking their plant fibres in a very special liquid called polyester resin. When you add a catalyst to the resin, it starts a chemical reaction. What happens is that the catalyst releases molecules called free radicals. And these free radicals join up with the molecules in the polyester resin. Very soon, that liquid turns really hard and tough.
It's actually the plant fiber that gives the resin its strength. It's kind of like the fiberglass kit I use in my car.
Yeah, but unlike glass fiber, fibre. Plant fibre is biodegradable.
Another great thing about plant fiber is that it's strong and it's renewable, but this all sounds a little bit too easy. What could go wrong?
OK, well, it could go badly wrong if the teams add too much catalyst to their resin. What happens then is that their mixture gets so hot, it could even melt this butter. In fact, if they put way too much catalyst, you can even set it on fire.
Hey everybody, the glass is cracking. Look.
The heat from the curing process has cracked the blue team's glass, and that could be a problem.
Is that going to affect our removal?
It's going to be really tough to get it out.
Right, it's really hot.
I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know.
It's going to be a challenge.
Hey, blue guys, what happened? A little glass accident?
Yep.
Got pretty hot.
Ah. I thought it might have been a mirror. I thought Eric might have been looking into it.
Yeah, funny guy.
Pretty hot?
Yeah, yours isn't up to full temperature yet.
Half an hour later, and the red team's panels are looking good.
What do you guys think?
I think it looks pretty darn good.
It looks real good.
And luckily for the blues, their glass molds stayed in one piece.
You can see it's soaked all the way through, and that's what we want.
With both teams' panels successfully completed, it's all down to the performance in the strength test. All right, now that we're all donning Experiment Island's latest line of fashionable eyewear, it is the moment of truth. We've asked you guys to provide us with a test panel the same thickness as your Dune Buggy bodywork. We now find out if they can handle the pressure.
It's a very simple test. We just place your test panel between these two metal posts and gradually increase the load until it fails.
First one to fail gets an escape penalty. And we're ready?
Let's go blue.
Let's do it. Count it out with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The blue team's panel survived 10 turns on the press. Can the red team's burlap take the strain?
All right, let's now reset this thing. Reds, you know what you're going to have to be. You ready?
Yes.
Ready. Count it with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Times, right? 15 turns, red, excellent job. Blues, 5-second escape penalty. Excellent job.
Way to go, guys.
Thanks to the burlap, the Reds take the lead and start tomorrow's race in front, leaving the blue team 5 seconds behind on the starting line. Now all that's left to do is attach the body panels and get ready for the big race. And after their performance today, the red team has every reason to be pleased with themselves.
Want another challenge today? Everybody feels good about that?
Great. I'd never done that, resin catalyst kind of, fiberglass or any composite thing, and that was such a cool process.
Oh, it was.
I thought, especially using those natural fibers, because I totally felt like I learned a lot today.
Team Red's car is crap.
Well, the only things left is to figure out who's driving a car.
Yes.
We have 4 bolts, same length. 2 heads of the bolts are colored black.
One boot has each of our names, and in the other boot has a task. It either says driver or cheerleader.
The 2 people with the black bolts are the drivers.
Clarke, you're driving.
Count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Driver, and I have Stephanie.
Yeah, all right, I got the black bolt. I got the black bolt. I went to Scotland, and I'm going to drive a go-kart really, really fast.
Although Eric seems confident, only one team will get to escape from Experiment Island. Who will it be? The Reds or the Blues? It's day 5, race day, wet and wild. Everything the teams have done for the past 4 days comes home to roost now. Will their Dune Buggies run on alternative fuels, or will they get sand kicked in their face? Only one team can win the checkered flag. Who's it gonna be?
It's a 2-lap relay race around the beach. But if their buggies get bogged down in the wet sand, the teams are allowed to give their vehicles a push. They must switch drivers after 1 lap. After that, the team that stops closest to the finish line wins the race and escapes from Experiment Island.
Hey, if we got to tip it, we tip it.
The forge may pay off.
This item was like a shimmering beacon.
The teams are doing their last-minute preparations. Vanessa, I'm with the blue team all week. I'm sticking with the blue team. I really like those little mud flaps that they put on the front tires. I think with all the sand and all the water that's going to be pushed up, I think it's really going to help their visibility a lot.
But you know, I think the thing that's really going to give the Reds the edge is the fact that they work so well as a team.
I think the factor that both teams are going to have to think about is the weather. I'm sure that they're really glad that they put those body panels on, and I hope they remember to fit their wet weather tires.
Teams, this is it. The whole point of being on Experiment Island, escape. All right, drivers, be fast, but be safe. Get out of here.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it.
Escape penalties. Red team, you have 1. Blue team, you have 2. That means Reds, you get a 5-second advantage at the beginning of the race.
First in the driver's seat, it's Roxanne for the Blues and Clarke behind the wheel for the Reds. And after Stephanie and Eric push them off, it's all down to them to speed through the first lap. But with this terrible weather, who knows what's going to happen out there?
All right, let's do this thing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And Team Blue, go!
Stephanie finds it really hard to push in that wet sand. But with Eric's muscle behind the blue buggy, Roxanne drives straight into the lead, making up that 5-second penalty and putting a little distance between her and the Reds. Roxanne has her foot firmly to the floor, gaining even more ground. With the wet weather making driving conditions difficult, those fenders give the Blues an advantage and Roxanne a clear view ahead. And as Roxanne goes off course, Clarke has the chance to claw back valuable seconds. But as the buggies hit the water again, the wind and driving rain prove too much and cause the vehicles to bog down.
All right, get in there. Help your teammates out. Go. Come on.
Now it's up to the co-drivers to push the buggies back to the start where they can make that changeover and take on the second lap.
Oh no, Reds are having difficulty getting the slot.
Valuable seconds are lost as Stephanie has trouble buckling up, so the Blues take the lead once again. But after Clarke's powerful push-off, Stephanie's not giving up and accelerates down the beach, quickly making up that lost ground. Coming into the bend, the Reds take a fast corner, putting the pressure back on down the home straight. And having a lighter driver and bodywork seems to be paying off as Stephanie picks up speed. Powering through the water, the red car almost flips, but Stephanie keeps control and edges her way back in front. Then once again, the wet sand proves too much of an obstacle. The Reds' lighter bodywork helps their Dune buggy to keep on rolling, and Stephanie stops closest to the finish line to snatch the victory.
You gave it your best shot.
Big losers. We're just here on Experiment Island for a little while longer. That's right. We're stuck. Stephanie, what happened?
I hit that water. And if you saw me coming back, did you see me flying? And I really took that corner back, and I totally spun.
Red team, what's up? I knew you were going to win. I knew from the start you guys were going to win. You're escaping the island, hopefully somewhere dry. Get out of here.
Finally, the moment they've all been waiting for, escape. The rescue craft is standing by to whisk the red team back home, away from the wet and the wild of Experiment Island.
Once again, we've witnessed a duel between two very determined teams. Once again, Experiment Island has thrown its own curveball into the mix. This time, it's rain. What's it going to be next time? Join us again for another amazing escape from Experiment Island.
This has been a presentation of TLC and the BBC, world-class television.
Down Periscope and descend into darkness where one wrong move can mean death. Extreme Machines Submarines is next. Then Junkyard Wars, tonight on TLC. And for more online, go to discovery.com and click on TLC.
With modern technology, TLC connects the dots and decodes the mysterious signs, where truth hangs on a single piece of evidence. Cracking the case where the untold truth is revealed. Weeknights at 7, only on TLC.